Hello friends, this is Trendline Investor providing the Nifty outlook and the Trading with Trendline Investor series for the 20th of July 2021. Now this video will be divided into two parts. The first part of the video would cover the Nifty daily outlook for today, and the second part would cover the Trade with Trendline Investor series. That's how it's being planned for all the upcoming videos every day. So if you're looking only for the Trade with Trendline Investor part, then you can directly head to the second part of this video. Otherwise you can stay as you are and you can have a look at my Nifty outlook for today and then move on to the second part. So for people who are new to my channel, the Trade with Trendline Investor series is a positional trading series where I trade with a starting capital of 1 lakh, and I'll be sharing my trades and also discussing the learnings on a daily basis with everyone. I'm 100% sure this is going to be very useful for you, so do join me if you haven't yet and let's learn together. So going into the Nifty outlook for today. Now for beginners to my YouTube channel, this is what I'll be covering. I'll be covering what happened to the markets in the previous session, key learnings if there are any, what is the market view for tomorrow, which will also include the long plan and the short plan. So let's look at what happened in the markets in the previous session. So we had a crazy gap down yesterday morning and then a sharp rise in the first 15 minutes. So we had a massive gap down around 1%, more than 1% in fact, and then we had a sharp rise, in the first 15 minutes. And to be honest, we did not have a plan if there was a massive gap down in our video yesterday. Now, however, if you were to trade, and if you did not have a plan, and if you were to trade, as I always mention, wait for a swing low or wait for a swing to form, and then you can go long or short depending on whichever side it breaks. So actually, if you used pivots high or low, even if you had used the simple indicator, you see that a previous pivot was here, and from there we gapped down and we did not have a pivot. So a long was, according to the pivot, we would go long here or we'd go short here, right? But immediately around 10 o'clock, we had a pivot, new pivot high, new lower high, and then we came down over here, right? So that is a new pivot low, and then we again formed a lower high on the pivot. So we had this was the previous high. Then we had around 15,836, then we had 15,829, and then we broke this pivot low. So you could have easily gone short here if you are comfortable taking such trades for a very small stop, and you could have made money. Now, many would say this is hindsight bias. Yes, it is a hindsight, agree, but that's how you start learning. In case you do not have a plan, at least learn swing high, swing low, and you can make money in stocks in intraday, but you need to follow it very diligently and with strict discipline, and that's how you make money in intraday also. So, but overall, what has Nifty done? Now, going into the hourly charts, we are kind of forming a rising wedge, right? So, I'm just going to switch off this indicator, right? We are forming a nice rising wedge, which is a bearish pattern around all-time high. Now, many might question, I was bullish all these days, why suddenly I'm looking at a bearish pattern? Now, to be honest, after this rejection yesterday, I completely forgot to look at, this trend line and the other trend line on top. Now it happens many times, and it's never late, to find something, but I'll still continue to be bullish because my primary trend line is this, which I'm watching for, right? This is my primary trend line, and I want to close below 15,600, and only if we break below 15,600 and if we close below it on daily basis, only then I'm going to turn from bullish to bearish. Now, even though I identified this bearish rising wedge, I'm not being bearish at this point. So probably, tomorrow we will know what's going to happen. Or we might go a few minutes sideways, we might go up, we might go down, we might go up again, we might break. You never know what's going to happen, or we might also break out on the upside, right? So that's why I said for now I'm bullish. Unless this primary trend line breaks, I'm continuing to be bullish. So what's the learning from yesterday? There are days when you do not have a plan, right? But if you still want to take a trade, the best way, as I mentioned, is to follow the swing high low strategy or the simple Dow theory concept and take a position depending on which side it breaks. Now that's the easiest way to do it, but sometimes the stop loss is high, sometimes the stop loss is less, and not everyone is comfortable because this strategy might take away some of the profits. So that's why many of the people are not comfortable. So always remember, you can't catch the top or the bottom. So it's better to have a strategy than just to trade, blindly in markets. So what's my view for today? Given the bearish closing today and how the US markets are falling, I am sure everyone is bearish on the street. But as I mentioned, 15,600 is the level to watch out for now. Until then, you should just stay calm and observe what's happening and trade according to the intraday charts. Now, don't get biased by looking at the news. Remember, the media has only one objective, and all your friends, everyone has just one objective: to create confusion in your mind, to create the idea of create fear. And when there's euphoria, they also rejoice. So that's not what you have to follow. You have to follow technical analysis, because we study markets based on technical analysis, and only we will change the view when the price changes. Until then, we will stick to what the price says. For now, the price structure is an uptrend, so we will continue to be bullish, and that's the overall view that I have. Now let's look at the long plan and the short plan. If you're holding shorts, then you must be trailing your stop loss to this high, which is around 15,772 for now. Otherwise, the long plan will be that basically now we have reversed from the lower part of this wedge. So we have reversed from the lower part of this wedge, and we had a strong wick every time we went towards this lower. We had this nice big wick tail, right, that's showing demand, and again we had this wick again. Now we might go up, we might come down, we might go up, we might come down, right? But just go with the flow for now. That's the that shows that we have a strong demand at the lower end of the channel, and I strongly feel that there is a bottom in place. But however, there's a chance we might still retest this lower end tomorrow, or sometimes even in the coming days. So if we gap down towards this lower end of the channel, which is 15,700, or even to this level 730, 700. So if we gap down towards 15,700, 730 levels at open tomorrow, and if we form a green candle in the first 5 minutes, then one can actually go long with a stop at day low. So also if we gap up, or if we close, and if we cross 15,772, which is this level, we cross above this level here, then also you can go long with a swing lower stop. That's the long plan. The short plan is if there is a red candle, so if we go higher here, so basically let's say tomorrow we open around here, or we open around here, we go higher, and then we get rejection around this area, right? Then also you can go short. Now keep the stop loss just above that high, and if you see rejection candle, if you see red candle here, just keep a stop there. The stop loss should be really small, so you can take that trade, and then expect to head even lower again towards the lower end of the wedge. Also, if we go below 15,700, which is this level, so if you go below yesterday's low, then probably we are heading to 15,600, 630 levels in the next couple of days. Now that's my analysis from a Nifty perspective. I hope it was useful. Now jumping into the second part of this video, I'm sure many of you are really worried, or maybe you're not, because you're you're following me. That could be one of the reasons. But today we had 2 exits in 2 of the stocks. So we'll look at that in shortly. But otherwise, for beginners, in this series we'll be covering, we'll have a quick look at the trades and Zerodha and what is the current status, and we look at the charts for the stocks we're holding and for the stocks in our watch list. And also we'll talk about potential breakout points in case you were to take some additional trades, or in case you go in a pyramid. Now also we'll review a trading journal, and we'll update the stop loss today because we had 2 exits, and also we had a new pyramiding position as we discussed today. So we'll update that quantity as well in the sheet, and if there's anything else, we will look at those as well, right? So quickly jumping into Zerodha. Now this is our holdings as of today. So we are up 2.12%, but remember we lost around around 1% of our capital, because we had exited Gufic Bio, which was for which the stop loss was around, if you see here, it was around 0.79% of our capital. And we also exited Avanti feeds, right? So Avanti feed, I think around 0.3-0.4% is what we lost. So overall around 1.2% is what we lost. So net to net, we are still up around 1%. Now we'll look at the final numbers once we update the sheets, but for now that's how our portfolio looks. And we have 5 stocks: Shakti Pump, Apar Industries, Fact, Tata Steel, Bhushan Limited, and Hindustan Zinc. We exited these 2, so we just have 5 stocks, and we have added more of Shakti Pumps today, right? So we bumped up a position, and we are sitting in a cash of around 8% of our portfolio. So 8.7% of portfolio plus, around 13% of portfolio is in cash, and we will see how we can utilize this cash today, right? I'm just going to the orders now. As I mentioned, Avanti, I exited the market today as per the plan. And then Shakti Pump, somehow the GTD did not work. I think the price was wrong, but I did check our video yesterday, the price was right. So I have no idea why it did not work. but then I manually exited Shakti Pumps. Sorry, I manually added Shakti Pumps at 867.4. And then once Gufik Buy got stop loss was triggered, I added the remaining position also on Shakti Pumps. So on an average, price of Shakti Pumps was planned at 860, but we got it at 864.4, which is not bad, I'd say. But yeah, in hindsight, you can say that it went down, we could have added more, but always you can talk in hindsight, you can talk anything that we want. In real time, we have to see what the market is doing. Okay, so that's the sheet. Now quickly jumping to the stocks for the day. So I'm going to remove this for now. So Shakti Pumps again has given a fantastic closing. Given that the markets were so bad today, a closing like this is just phenomenal. You should be happy that you're holding on to a stock which is good, and you added on to a stock which actually is going up, right? So nothing to worry. The CCI is still looking good. We are still having a strong momentum. So Shakti Pump, there's nothing to worry. Now Hindustan Zinc. So what is Hindustan Zinc doing basically? So we are probably retesting that symmetrical triangle breakout. I'm just going to remove this for now. I'll just place it over here. So we are retesting that breakout, which from the symmetrical triangle, we're retesting that upper trend line over here. And still the stop loss is not hit. So the bullishness continues to be there. But tomorrow, if Hindustan Zinc by any chance crosses 351, right? So 351 is here, or if you want to be even conservative, 352. So we'll place a GTT order for 352, and we'll trade our stop loss to 337, right? So that'll be our in case we have to pyramid. So that'll be the pyramiding for Hindustan Zinc. We'll do that planning shortly. Apar Industries again is looking. It has inside bar today, but again, it not form a very bad green candle. Again, if you want Apar Industries, I am going to add Apar Industries above 577, 576, 575. So the highest point here, if you see, probably you can take this high also 582 and this 575. So above 576, I would buy more of Apar Industries and I'll trail my stop to 550. So that's the pyramiding plan for Apar Industries. And fact also is going sideways. Now again, if I have to add fact, I'll probably add above this point over here, which would mean that this is probably a fresh breakout over here, right? So I'm going to add above this point is 145.6. So I will. So here I'm not sure if I'll add because my risk could still not be covered. So I'll drop this for now. But Apar Industries, our stop loss right now is at 530. So 530 was here. Right now, if we trade a stop to 550, then probably going to get some risk reduced. So I'm going to add Apar Industries and Hindustan Zinc, but fact, I'll not add more, right? Because our risk is still not reducing, even if we take a stop. So right now, this is going sideways, and if it goes up, our stop loss will still continue to be here, right? So that's why I'm not trailing my stop. I'm not adding more to fact. On Tata Steel, Bhushan Limited, also the same. If it goes above this point, then it's a fresh breakout, but then my stop loss still continues to be here, so I'm not going to add more of Bhushan Steel as well. So otherwise, the charts of Bhushan Steel and fact still look the same. There's not much changes. Apar Industries again, not much change. Hindustan Zinc is retesting and Shakti Pumps is moving ahead. So we'll focus on Shakti Pumps. We have 30% allocation, which is very good. Now, just moving into Gufik Bio, as per our plan, we did exit below this point. So probably we're heading towards this lower end of this point around 172. So that's that's why we exited. So if you have a reversal around 171, 172, and if you test this trend line, then we can consider taking a position if we have money. Avanti exit was random, not much, but just because I thought that so probably we are heading towards this. So probably it's going to take some more time around this point. We might go sideways. I'm not sure, but we'll check that again later. So if you're not sure about patterns, it's fine. You can't have a pattern all the time. So ESAB is still going sideways, nothing much. SAIL tried to move up today, but it did not move. So again, it got rejected right around the trend line here. So SAIL is still looking good as of today. There's no major sell-off yet, which has happened. IndiaMart had a 2.5% fall. So again, there is we have not had an IndiaMart in our portfolio, but the fall is going towards the previous swing low. So unless this is taken out, I don't see a problem in IndiaMart. Likita broke the trend line today. So we did break this trend line today. So until the swing low is not taken, I'd not be worried if you're holding Ligita. But otherwise, right now this is not a good sign. Okay. So Tata Power was one of the strongest stocks in our watch list today, and we did have a move above this base over here. So I think there was a reason. Probably there was strength against Tata Power, and it closed 1.33%. In fact, that's one of the highest gainers today. And if you want to add Tata Power, you can add right now. It's a very good point to add, and add more once we cross above this high point over here. But ensure you trail your stop loss before you add. But for now, the stop loss can be even as close as 21.23, or if you want to be a little conservative, then keep a stop around 121, and you get a very good position size in this stock. The power sector still looks good. The trend line still looks good, so nothing to worry here. Now let's jump to the trading journal, and let's update our numbers before we close today's session. So as I mentioned, Apar industry. So first, let's move the stocks from here. We have to move the closed stocks to the trades closed, and then we'll review that shortly. But for now, I'm just going to move this from here. I'm just going to Control C. I'm going to go to trades closed. I'm going to right click, paste values, right? So that has updated mine here. So what was the exit price? The exit price today was 627.7. So I'm going to do this here, 627.7, and we exited today at 1907. So what does the sheet tell you? Now this sheet just tells you, what was your plan, what was the execution, and what is the exit price. And here it shows you the P&L. So we lost around 0.4% of our capital, right? So I don't know why this says return T. Okay, I'll fix this later, but for now, so yeah, we've lost 2.5% on the stock itself. We bought the stock at 645 and 627. So that was 2.68% down, and our risk reward was 0.48, basically, which means we bet 1 rupee on the markets and we lost 0.48 paisa, right? And the percentage, how much we lost 0.02% of our capital. Now that loss is really minor loss, right? That's how you have to keep your losses in control, right? So moving on to the next one is Gufic Bio. So I'm just going to delete this row because we don't need that anymore. So Gufic Bio, I'm just going to copy this again. Okay, let's do a Control C, go here and just do paste values, right? So this is my second stock which I exited today. So that's the same date. What was the exit price? Exit price was 179.15. Now plan was 180, but it got triggered at 179.15, right? So 179.15 is our stop loss. Now just copy this and paste it here. Okay. Now in this stock we've lost 0.85% of the overall capital, right? So again, I'm not sure why. I'm sorry. Yeah. So this is our capital was 1 lakh. Right, so here we lost 0.4. I'm sorry for that, and here we lost 0.86. So total overall we have lost around as I said 1.28% is what we have lost. And in this, if you see, the risk reward is minus 1.09 or 09. Now basically this means that we bet 1 rupee and we lost 1 rupee and 9 paisa. Right, that's because our stop was at 180. Now if we exited at 180, this would be exactly 1, because we planned to bet 1 rupee on the market and we lost only that 1 rupee. But since our exit was a little lower, the risk reward is minus 1.09, right? So we didn't exit as per our plan. Now in case you want to exit as per the plan, you can keep a little higher stop loss in the GTD order, and that would ensure you exit. So I'm going to delete this row as well. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 stocks, right? I'm just going to remove this, it's not required. Okay, so this is our current holdings, and yeah, so today we added how many stocks? So we added 17 stocks at 864.39. So I'm going to update this pyramiding here. 864.39 was our new stock entry. So we have 37 stocks. So Avanti now should be updated to, Shakti Pump should be updated to 37 here, right? And our average cost is 818.74. So 818.746. So 746, right? So our new risk on Avanti is 0.5%, right? Now we should have we have around 15,900 cash, so that's what it's showing here. So our invested amount should take into all this consideration, right? So we have 1 2 3 4 5, so that's what we have invested, and we had 1 lakh of capital. Now our balance is 5939. Now there are some debits which happen, there are some commissions that we pay. Now as of today, this is around 118.4. now this would increase today because we've sold more stocks. So I'm just going to update that. Go to trades closed, and you have charges and other debits. So in charges, just update the sheet. The moment you update this, you will see this number changing over here, right? So that increased to 1390, and again over here that should automatically take care. If not, I have to check that. Okay, I'll check that probably later at some point. But right now we have around what's the cash position? We have around 87 plus 53, so that's 14.5. That's the balance that we have, right? So yeah, that's the update. Now finally, just doing the pyramiding. I'm just going to do the pyramiding for the plan, as I mentioned, for fact, and for, I think I mentioned some other stock. Yes. So Hindustan Zinc and fact. So as per the plan, sorry, not Apar Industries. Now let's do Apar Industries first. So Apar Industries, I'll be adding, we could say, so the high was 576.8, 576, 575, 576, and 575. So I'm just going to keep an order above 576. Okay, so not order, I'm just going to plan keeping at 576 because that is the highest point, or you can keep it in 577. So let's keep 577. And what is the stop loss? A stop loss would be this low, 550, right? So 550 is a stop loss. And how much quantity will we buy? Just copy this and paste it here, and you'd see we buy 38 quantities if you're risking another 1000. But before that, check if you put 550 over here, what is your trading stop loss? So 400, right? So if we have another 1000, right, so we can't really add that much stocks. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep it to 1% always. So I'm just going to add for 500 rupees more risk. So which means I just go here and say I want to add for a risk of 500, right? Which means I'd be adding 19 more stocks of Apar Industries, right? I'll just repeat this again. Now in this case of Shakti Pumps, stop loss was above the average price when we added. So we were in a profit of 500. Right, but in this case, even if we scale a stop loss to 550, you are still in a loss of 400, right? So which means you can add 600 more rupees of risk to this particular portfolio to keep it to 1%, right? So here what you can do is you can keep 500, or you can add 600 to keep it exactly 1%, right? So 23 stocks I'll be adding at 577 Apar Industries. Now the next one was Hindustan Zinc. So I'm just going to check again here. Now Hindustan Zinc, if we go above 351, right, I'm going to add more. Okay, so 351 is what I'm going to add more for Hindustan Zinc. Okay, and my stop would be, I'll take this low as a stop for now, or you can keep this low. So we can keep this low because if we retest and go higher, which means this low is intact. So I'll keep a stop at 337. So it's 337.8. I'm keeping it 337, just rounding it off. Okay, so 337, right? So which means if I take the same 1% risk, I can buy 72 shares. But before that, you should ensure that you update the same 337 here and see you have a risk of, if your trailing stop loss is 337, then your trailing risk for this position is 60, your loss is 60 rupees. So which means I can take the complete position tomorrow at 72 because my risk could be, 1.06%. So that's a pyramiding plan, guys. So you can go to GTT. I don't want to bore you with adding the GTTs over here, but just go to GTT, take your orders, create a GTT for the stocks, and just add these quantities there. So whichever gets triggered first, let it get triggered. It doesn't really matter. But for now, we are done with Shakti Pumps, so I'm just going to remove that. So we're done with pyramid P1. We have 2 more pyramids possibly, but since we're already 30%, we will not be doing more pyramiding. But we do have a chance to do pyramid other stocks. Right. Now, one of the key points to note why I am pyramiding only high, right? So tomorrow, from tomorrow, let's say the market starts going down and we don't cross this level, then I'm mentioning my risk still remains the same, what I have, and the stock goes down, hits a stop loss. So we will lose, as you see here, we lose around, 2.89%. That's the maximum we'll lose, right? But if in case any of the stocks continue to head higher, then we are going to add more because this market goes down, the stock is performing, and we're going to add on to our additional existing holdings, right? So that's the reason why you always pyramid on the upside. So it's a long video today, but I hope you enjoyed the learnings. In case you have any questions, do let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, I think, have a good trading day and take care. Thank you.